Stop, now think. Do you truly believe the government has your best interests at heart? Shocking, I know. But let's dive into this shady world that survivalists and farmers worry about. Let's talk about farmland acquisitions, seed control, and why they might want you to stop growing your own food. Because clearly, being self-sufficient is just too rebellious for the government. Here's a fun thought. What if the food on your plate wasn't really yours to control? What if someone, or something, was pulling the strings, deciding what you eat, how you eat, and whether you even get to eat at all? Sounds like the opening to a dystopian novel, right? Except it's not fiction. It's happening right now. Let's start with the farmland. Over the last couple of decades, a peculiar trend has emerged. The government, alongside billionaire philanthropists like Bill Gates, has been quietly buying up farmland across the United States. Gates alone now owns around 269,000 acres, making him the largest private farmland owner in the country. That's roughly the size of Hong Kong. Why would a tech mogul suddenly become interested in dirt? Spoiler alert, it's not because he's planning to start a farm-to-table restaurant. Oh, and let's not forget China. Chinese entities, some with direct ties to their government, own about 383,000 acres of U.S. farmland as of 2023, and likely to be over 400,000 in this year of 2025. That's enough land to grow an unhealthy amount of corn syrup or spy on their neighbors, probably both. It's worth noting that much of this land is strategically located near military bases because apparently subtlety isn't a priority. The sabotage of farmers. But it's not just about who owns the land. It's about what's being done to the people who've worked it for generations. American farmers are being systematically squeezed out of existence. Subsidies are dangled like carrots, but only if they agree to grow government-approved monocrops like corn and soy. Great for making processed junk food. Not so great for, actual nutrition. Independent farmers who resist are often buried under mountains of debt, courtesy of predatory loans and artificially manipulated market conditions. Fun fact, more than 100,000 farms have disappeared in the US since the 1980s. Then there's the seed game. For thousands of years, farmers saved seeds from one harvest to plant the next. It was a beautiful cycle of renewal, until companies like Monsanto showed up to ruin the party. Now farmers are forced to buy patented seeds every single year, thanks to contracts that make it illegal to save and replant them. Violators face lawsuits that could bankrupt them faster than you can say Roundup-ready soybeans. Oh, but it gets better. In 2020, the U.S. Department of Justice quietly approved Bayer's $63 billion merger with Monsanto, creating a monopoly so massive it makes the Death Star look subtle. Bayer Monsanto now controls roughly 25% of the global seed market, meaning they effectively decide what gets planted, and, by extension, what you eat. Proven methods of sabotage. Let's not forget history here. The US government has a long and colorful track record of sabotaging its own people. Remember the Dust Bowl? Sure, it was caused by drought and over-farming, but federal policies encouraging reckless agricultural expansion didn't exactly help. And who could forget the USDA's brilliant idea to slaughter 6 million pigs during the Great Depression to drive up pork prices while people were literally starving? More recently, in 2020, the government ordered farmers to destroy crops and euthanize livestock due to supply chain disruptions. It was a masterclass in inefficiency. Fields were plowed under, gallons of milk were dumped, and millions of animals were killed, not to feed people, but to rot in landfills. Meanwhile, food banks were overwhelmed and families went hungry. But hey, at least we kept the prices stable for Wall Street. Why seed control matters. Now let's talk about seeds. Seeds are the foundation of life, but under the current system, they're treated like intellectual property. Corporations like Bayer Monsanto, Syngenta, and Corteva own the patents to most commercially available seeds, including genetically modified organisms, GMOs, and hybrid varieties. This gives them the power to dictate not just what farmers grow, but how they grow it. Even the USDA's own research has shown that GMO crops don't necessarily yield more than traditional varieties. What they do, however, is lock farmers into a cycle of dependency on expensive seeds and chemical inputs. Meanwhile, biodiversity, nature's insurance policy against crop failure, is disappearing faster than you can say climate crisis. Take India as a cautionary tale. Since the introduction of GMO cotton in the late 1990s, tens of thousands of Indian farmers have taken their lives, often by drinking the very pesticides they were pressured to buy. They were trapped in a cycle of debt they couldn't escape, thanks to high seed costs and declining yields. It's a grim reminder of what happens when corporations treat seeds like a commodity rather than a shared resource. The bigger picture. So, why does this matter to you? Because the same playbook is being used here in the US. Farmland is being consolidated into fewer and fewer hands. Seeds are being turned into weapons of control. If you think this won't affect you because you don't live on a farm, think again. Every time you eat, you're participating in this system. A system designed to make you reliant on a handful of powerful players who care more about profits than people. If you're still with me, congratulations. You've made it past the grim reality of farmland acquisitions and seed control. Now it's time to talk about what you can actually do to push back against this growing monopoly on your food, and by extension, your freedom. Speaking of which, you have free will. This means you can decide to like and subscribe early and help me create more videos to educate more people of the realities of what's going on. Either way, thank you. Let's continue. Step 1. Grow your own food. First things first. Grow something. Anything. Whether it's a full-blown vegetable garden or a single tomato plant on your balcony, the act of growing your own food is an act of defiance. Think of it as giving the middle finger to the corporations that want you dependent on their overpriced, chemically treated produce. Don't have a green thumb? No problem. Start with easy-to-grow crops like lettuce, radishes, or herbs. These plants are low maintenance, fast-growing, and perfect for beginners. And don't underestimate the satisfaction of eating something you grew yourself. It's a small victory. But in a world where control is the name of the game, every victory counts. Step 2. Save your seeds. Saving seeds is the ultimate form of self-reliance. It's also a practice that's as old as agriculture itself. But thanks to modern seed patents and hybrid varieties, the art of seed saving is becoming a lost skill. Let's bring it back. Start with open-pollinated or heirloom varieties, which can be saved and replanted year after year. These seeds are not only free from corporate control, but also more genetically diverse, making them better adapted to local growing conditions. Plus, there's something deeply satisfying about harvesting seeds from a plant you grew yourself. It's like giving Mother Nature a high five. Step 3. Build a community. You're not in this alone. Across the country, people are waking up to the importance of food sovereignty and taking action to reclaim control over their food systems. Join a local gardening club, seed exchange, or community-supported agriculture (CSA) program. Share tips, trade seeds, and support each other in the fight against corporate food monopolies. Don't have a local group? Start one. Even a small network of like-minded individuals can make a big impact. Together you can pool resources, share knowledge, and amplify your voices to demand change. Step 4. Hold corporations accountable. While growing your own food is a powerful act of rebellion, it's not enough to dismantle the corporate stranglehold on agriculture. That requires systemic change. Start by voting with your wallet. Support local farmers and businesses that prioritize sustainability and biodiversity over profit margins. Write to your elected officials and demand policies that protect small farmers, promote seed diversity, and hold corporations accountable for their actions. Step 5. Educate yourself and others. Knowledge is power, and the more you know about the issues facing our food system, the better equipped you'll be to fight back. Read books, watch documentaries, and follow independent journalists who are shining a light on the dark corners of industrial agriculture. And don't keep that knowledge to yourself. Share it with your friends, family, and anyone else who will listen. The more people who understand what's at stake, the harder it will be for corporations and governments to maintain their grip on our food system. The final word. At the end of the day, the fight for food sovereignty is about more than just seeds and farmland. It's about freedom, independence, and the right to control what goes into your body. Start small, stay informed, and remember, every seed you plant is a step toward a future where food is a human right, not a corporate commodity. No matter your stances on politics or government, we should all be one with basic human rights. This means access to growing, preserving, and collecting your own food and water without being controlled. Whatever is against that is against humanity. Thanks for your time, friends. Hope to see you again.